Starting in this corner, there's some plants, tree, hummingbird, cameras, rototiller that I use for this area. This is the area where my garden is. It's not a huge area, but it works. I had a small pool set up, just to sit in. And that's the remnants. I have to put all that stuff away, and then that's related to work as scaffold. These are carrots that are left over. What I like about this type of carrot, and I can't remember the name of it, but I have it somewhere. They'll stay in the ground and won't get woody for a long time. I planted these I think I planted these in February, and it's September. And we still dig them up and use them, and they're still delicious. Just better than the stores, but when you grow your own. This is a type of yellow tomato. They get rather large. Some of them get rather large. The splitting is usually from, you don't water them for a couple of days, and then you hit them hard with water, and they overabsorb. Lemon cucumbers. I'm a huge fan of cucumbers. The plants are starting to look a little yellowish and weak, but still producing. Let's see, chilies. Tons of different types of chilies. I'm not going to name them all or look up the name tags on all of them. They're mostly hot. This one happens to be Thai chili. I'm not a fan of this particular plant this year. It's bitter and just hot, whereas in the past when I grown them, they actually had a lot more flavor. I mean, they're always hot. They're hot as heck, but they had more flavor. And these, and I'm not a fan of these. They're just plain hot. And when it comes to chilies, I like the hot chilies, but I want some flavor. This is called black cherry. Oh, those are so good. It was as if they were injected with sugar. Another red cherry. This one didn't do too well. It's got some on there. Another different type of cherry. And believe it or not, this tastes different from that. There's a rosemary plant. I keep it trimmed back. I dig up roots and keep it small. Otherwise, it would just be out of control. I pick it occasionally and dry it and use it in the kitchen. This is basil. I've got 4 or 5 of these. They flowered already. I'm considering using these. I don't know if you could dry these and these would be good. Oh, they smell so good though. I wonder. This was what's left over from the flowering. The basil was excellent this year. And I bought them at I think it was Lucky Supermarket or Safeway. They sell them as live plants for $3 in spring, where you could take the plant home and pick it and use it in your kitchen. I just plant them in the ground and they just take off. And then I have them all summer long. Serrano peppers. The plants didn't get too big, but they still produce. This is a yellow cherry bell type or something. Romas. Again, Roma. Kind of a dry tomato. Excellent for canning. Excellent sliced, actually. I've never seen a Roma quite like that. There were some massive ones. They're usually smaller. I really like these tomato plants. And I think I got these at Home Depot. Cucumbers. Look at this little cucumber plant. And look at the size of the cucumbers it produces. Because I don't have a lot of space, I keep things, trimmed back, and I keep things small. This whole area was for onions. I grew a lot of onions, and they're all in the garage and boxed up, dried, and still good. They've been in the boxes for a couple months. More of that basil. Here's the cherry one I was talking about. There it is there, red. It's got a really thick skin, but like I said, when they're red, they are really, really good. Most chilies turn color when they ripen. And these are some unique yellow ones. These are fairly hot. I don't have anything. I only have a couple that are like excessively hot. I just don't go for the ones that are so hot that your eyes water and you can't, for the next 2 hours you're in pain. This is not enjoyable to me. You can see these plants are really taken off. We had a cool spring, so everything was going slow, and that's why you see some of these plants were stunted. Even a couple of the tomato plants, because our spring was too chilly. I have so many that I end up just cutting the skin off because the skin's a little bit bitter. There are some you can grow where the skin is thin and it's not so bitter, or if you pick them when they're really young. But I like to have them when they have seeds in them. They contain more water. They're more mature. The flesh tastes better. I think that's a type of a jalapeno. No, it's not a jalapeno. It's similar to a jalapeno in heat. With it in heat, I think this is actually hotter than a jalapeno. This is a jalapeno. This is not a hot pepper. It's like kind of like a modified bell pepper or something. These are hot. I don't know. I forget what they're called, but they will light you up. And then there's this one. They just grow real long, like that. There it is, right there. That one's ready to pick. These are sweet, delicious. We use them in salads. Honestly, what I do is I put a bunch of them on a plate, and I just eat them. Sometimes I'll chop them up, or I'll just make a cucumber, tomato, pepper, onion, vinaigrette salad. Just put it on a plate, olive oil, dried oregano. It's really coming back the way I want it to. It's in this small bed, so I have to keep it under control. But when it gets larger, I'll cut it back, and then I'll take everything inside and dry it, and I have oregano. I mean, look at this weird tomato. Right there. So this splitting is if you don't water them for a few days, and then you hit them hard with water, they can overabsorb and split. That's what's going on here. With tomatoes, if you do dry farming, like towards this, like at this time of the year, it's like we're cutting back on the watering. If you cut back on the watering, the plant goes into a little bit of a stress pattern, but the juice inside the tomatoes gets really concentrated and much more flavorful. But either doing that or not doing that and just watering them normally, you can't buy one in the store that can match any of these. It's just, you can just arbitrarily pick any one of these tomatoes and eat it, and it's going to be 5 times better, 10 times better than the store. It's just the way it is. I mean, in the stores now, they offer the heirloom, locally grown in some of the supermarkets. So at least out here, so you can get, you can get some good stuff now, but just growing your own is, I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. So we had a lot of other stuff planted. Like I said, we started in January. Most of it's gone. I'm getting ready for fall planting. Cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, more carrots probably. Maybe I'll have time to probably put in some more radishes because they take less than a month. I have a bunch of seeds. I should be out here today doing it, or at least doing starters. But we have this area I can plant. I have that area there. I have this area here. But I'm not as enthused with winter gardening. A lot of those plants like cabbage and whatnot, they don't taste much different than the ones in the store. And the plants are huge. And then you get one head of cabbage. Brussels sprouts is a little bit better deal. Broccoli's fine. But again, in the stores, commercially grown, I don't really notice a big difference at all. At least for me. So I'll grow them just for the heck of it. I'll put the seeds in and I'll start the plants and let the rain take care of it and see what happens. If they grow, they grow. If they don't do well, I don't care. There's a big cucumber right there. I mean, that one's ready. That one's ready for picking. But I already have some in the kitchen. Anyway, briefly, I'm a general contractor, so I keep a lot of my stuff here. I also have a storage shed. Here's some ladders and some scaffold. I mean, I got too many tools. I wish I could get rid of a lot of them, honestly. Here's my tough stuff. It's a lat pull down, a couple different styles of pull downs. You can, with bars and other things, you can get inventive. And it's like a seated row machine. I also have my barbecue set up out here, a little refrigerator. Here's an incline with my son got that thing. There's also another little incline bench there. There's a flat bench here. This is a hoist. So it's got a pull down here. I don't use it for that because I have that. But it's a push machine for your upper chest, shoulders, and whatnot. With either that or you can put some attachments on it right there, like straps. It's a nice machine. And then for quads, you got a machine weights for here where you can push out for quads. But I also have this to keep for endurance and stamina and cardio, and to keep my legs in shape. I do a lot of time on this. It's an incumbent life cycle, and I use the incumbent because I've had back surgery. And even in sitting in this, it's a little uncomfortable with my back because I'll do 90-minute sessions, and I'll be drenched in sweat when I'm done. But it keeps me healthy. It keeps my heart strong. Keeps my lungs, wide open, and it's just this is what really keeps my weight in check. Is this here? These don't. These just give you a little bit more muscle mass, if you're depending on how hard you're working out and how consistent, and it keeps you from getting flaccid, soft, and it's good for your joints as long as you don't exceed and injure yourself. So, but as far as building up your metabolism and stuff, the cardio is what's best. But the results you get with the weights is a little bit more impressive, with the muscles and everything. But so I do both, a combination of both. I'm getting back into it. I took off like 3 months. I didn't really take off. I slowed down. To say I stopped I didn't stop, but I have slowed down, and I'm kind of getting back into it again. I did like 7 months. I got in pretty good shape. I started right after Thanksgiving, and I went strong all the way through May, June. Around May, I started to slow down, and because I kind of almost got where I wanted to be, and most of it I started out with cardio, and then I went to the weights. Because my left arm just recently got better. I have a partial bicep tear, and it bothered me quite a bit. It bothered me for 2.5 years, and now the inflammation's gone down, and I can use it again. So I'm gonna opt not to have surgery unless it flares up again, or I snap the rest of it off the bone. And then there's my mirror where I can be vain when I'm in shape. I'm a little bit, I got about 15 pounds on me I shouldn't have. And then this is just another storage area. It's all covered. It's like 40-something feet of cover. And this is just, I have more than this. So I have two, I try to keep it nice. I organize that, and then in a few weeks it's just like that again. I gave that to my grandson, but after we went camping, it came back over here. He hasn't come back to get it. These I'm selling. I did a video on those two. No bites. Nobody wants to buy it. Nobody has the money. Maybe they think my price is too high. But they're well worth it. I probably, to be honest, I think I want to keep this one. They're both incredible, but this one is like, it's larger, it's more impressive, and it's got the 29s. But that might be the better bike, really, as far as parts and materials. Maybe it's hard to say. Subjective. And then here's my favorite cruiser. You know, I love this thing. It's not, it's not I take it on the trails. I do take it on the trails, even though it's a hub drive and whatnot. I love this bike. It's like a motorcycle. And then this is a motorcycle. And this is the one I modified, customized. I did a couple videos on this one. And then my garage is just, one thing after another. I mean, look, all those things are filled up. And so I'm going to do a video, like I said, did I mention? I didn't mention it. So there's about 8 boxes here, 7 or 8 boxes. I've got 21 boxes of spirits that I acquired I did a liquor store job, not a heist. We remodeled a liquor store in town here. And I know I've done some other work for the liquor store owner. He owns a dozen stores. He had 15 and he downsized to 12. And he just wanted to remodel one of his places. Maybe more are going to be on the agenda, but to get more storage and a better layout and new refrigeration units. And we did a lot of the work in there. We didn't do the refrigeration, but we did all the carpentry and whatnot and the finish work. But and then he's also got a warehouse that I've never explored, but I can imagine what that is. This guy he buys in such volume. He buys for his 12 stores, and then he also buys for other independents. And so he can buy in large volumes. He saves a lot of money, and he gets a lot of the allocated whiskeys and whatever it might be. I mean, he's got like rows and rows of George T. Stagg, William LaRue Weller, from current ones, years past and stuff. But he wanted to give me a bunch of those in trading for some labor. And, it sounded enticing, but, I don't think, to me, like a George T. Stagg is not, which could sell for $1,000 or $1,500, whatever it is on the internet now. It's not, everybody knows it's not worth it. It's just you want to have it for status. But you can open a $200 bottle, or even less, and it could be just as good. So, I mean, that's what I've observed, because I've tasted them all. I haven't tasted the William LaRue Weller, but how much better could it be? I've tasted a lot of scotches. I'm a big fan of scotch. I started with bourbons. I migrated to scotch. And then I went the whole gamut. I went down into rums for a while, and then tequila, and then finally mezcal. Mezcal, and I'm not drinking now because I'm starting my weight training and exercising again. And when I do that, I have to, my diet gets cleaned up, and alcohol just gets in the way. You can't do it. I mean, if you want to maintain and kind of balance your life and you want to drink a little bit, that's fine. But I find that when I want to achieve a goal, like in physical training, if I'm drinking a little bit here and there, it's not working towards that goal in no shape or form. I mean, it just slows you down. So even a little bit of drinking, there's no positive effect. So as much as I like to taste these and stuff like that, and I really can dive into the flavors because I have a mature palate, a developed palate. These things have to take a back seat to other things in your life at times, and also for health reasons. You got to give your body a break, and you just can't poison it all the time. But I don't want to lecture nobody. You do what you want to do. I don't care. So there's about 300 bottles. There's 21 boxes, but a lot of them I moved to storage. And then I brought these back because I want to do a series of videos and like unboxings and show you guys what I got. Now, some of it I don't know because they just put it in here. Some of them I picked out. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to start those videos. I've done 2 of them so far, and I don't like them. They're so amateurish, and I come off like an idiot. So I'm going to probably start over. Like I said, I can only do a couple of boxes at a time because the videos get real long. Since there's 21 boxes, I'll probably do a couple videos, and if you guys like it, I'll do more. I have some really interesting bottles that you're not gonna that you'll be surprised to see. And then of course there's gonna be if you're into whiskeys and stuff, there's gonna be a lot of stuff that you know about. But there's gonna be a lot of stuff I don't know about because they threw a whole bunch of stuff in here. I picked out maybe 125 bottles, and somewhere in that neighborhood, and I think it ended up being like 300 bottles because it's about 15 per box, and I got 21 boxes out of it. And granted, about 15 or 20 of these in these boxes somewhere here and there have mine in there. Like I believe this one is mine. That's a mezcal. But not, 95% of these are going to be ones that I picked out of the guy's store. Some he didn't couldn't move as well, and some I just wanted. But like I said, I didn't get the ones that a lot of people might migrate to. I got stuff that suits my taste more, and is a lot of things I haven't had, but I know the distillery, and so I know it's probably going to be good. And there were some that were like extremely limited, so or boxed in very fancy boxes. So anyway, I'll work on that and look for that to be posted soon. And if you see this video, anyway, I just wanted to show you my yard and stuff, and because I'm new to YouTube, just give you a feel of kind of who I am and what I'm doing. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm looking for content, and I'm just trying to start a new hobby and fill up my time. And that's kind of why I'm doing it. That's probably why a lot of people do it. Okay, bye.